Hi, everyone. Welcome to This Week in Real Estate in the San Ramon Valley. My name is Joe Kehrig with the Kehrig Real Estate team. And again, I want to thank you for joining. And also, as always, I want to thank all the first responders, the delivery people, the grocery people, as we become engaged back into life a little bit more. The people the truckers, the farmers, the first responders, the doctors, and the nurses, we're able to do that because of the efforts that they've been able to put forward. So again, I want to thank those people out there. I hope you and your family are safe and continue to be safe. But as I mentioned before, we're starting to get more fully engaged. We're starting to get back in, as Governor Newsom had said, it's kind of like a light switch. We're slowly getting back into the business. In the real estate business, just so if you didn't know, as of a couple weeks ago, as of last week, we're basically kind of now fully engaged. A few weeks ago, all we could do was show vacant properties. One agent, up to two people with the mask, sanitizing in, sanitizing going out. If you saw my video a couple weeks ago, I kind of gave an example of how we're professionally marketing property. Well, as of May 4th, the guidelines were loosened up a little bit, and now we can show occupied property. So we're basically fully engaged. No broker tours, no open houses. We're basically fully engaged. We can show now any property out there. Now, if it's an occupied property, the owner does have to be gone. But the restrictions of wearing a mask, sanitizing in, sanitizing going out, one agent up to two people is still there. And obviously, we always try to have the client see. All of our properties have a virtual tour and a walkthrough. So we don't have people going through a property that they're already not familiar with. I actually think that there's a couple things that I don't think we're going to go back to. The whole thing of going out there and walking through 20 properties, I think is over. I think what's going to happen is agents are going to have to come to a new level and have the virtual tours, have the virtual walkthroughs. And so clients are going to be able to do it through the comfort of their house. And instead of walking through 10 or 12 properties, they'll limit it to 2 or 3 because they're still going to have to see the property, but then we'll go ahead and take them through there. Now, obviously, no open houses, no broker tours, but for the most part, we are fully engaged. And you'll see, as when we go through the graphs this week, more and more listings coming on the market. So again, if we look at the first slide, I want you to see that the impact of COVID-19, the real estate showings in North America, and obviously this is all North America, and you'll see that obviously the huge drop in March, but look what's happening, started happening in mid-April all the way into now going into May. It's happening more and more. The showings are up. People are out there looking at the properties. Now, I talk about this every week because I do still get calls every week saying, Joe, where's the foreclosures? Well, you know what? There just isn't going to be the foreclosures that we saw in 2008. The economy was so strong because this was a virus that drove us into this. It wasn't the economy. And unlike 2007 or 8, real estate led into that. This graph that I'm showing you here is the number one reason why this is not going to be like 2008. 42.1% of the people out there have their home paid off. 16.6% have 60 to 99% equity, and then 41 to 60. You can basically, as we talked about last week, almost 54% of the people owe less than 50% on their property or have it paid off. The big difference with 2008, when the market went down 10%, which is a normal correction, so there were so many people out there that had no equity in their home, so it was just like rats off a sinking ship. They left the area and they just ran from their home, and it was like a building caving in on itself, where it got obviously worse and worse. You can see, on the next slide, what the market is doing. So in San Ramon, you can see the actives. Now, I've gone back 2 weeks, and you can see the actives from 426 to 53 to the 510 has gone from 81 to 102 to 120. But also you can see the pending sales have gone up also, 36, 39 to 44. And the closed sales have gone down a little bit, but again, because of appraisal situations, it can just take a little bit longer to close. So that's what we're going to see. We're going to see more homes come on the market, but we're going to see that the buyers cherry picking the best homes out there. So the most important thing, if you're a seller, you have to be competitive. Your home's got to be ready to go. Because one of the big things with the loosening we did last week, it was hard to put an occupied home on the market, because even a vacant home, because unless it was ready to go, because we couldn't get our painters in there, we couldn't get our subcontractors in there to fix the property up, couldn't get stagers in there. Now we're able to get our contractors in there to get properties ready to go. So see more homes coming on the market, and you'll see this graph continue. But what you also continue to see, I think, is the pending sales go up. So we know there's going to be more listings come on the market. What we're really going to look at is what is the absorption rate as those homes come on the market. I actually feel that the third and fourth quarter, you're going to see a lot of these homes burn off. And I think next February, we're going to see what we saw this February. This February was the #1 February in 13 years in the real estate market. So let's look at Danville. Danville, you can see again, big jump from 426 to 53 in active properties and up to 125. And you can see that the pending sales have stayed pretty consistent over the last 3 weeks. So homes are still selling. And again, same thing with the closed sales. With Blackhawk, you can see obviously same thing. Pendings have stayed pretty steady. Inventory has gone up. And Alamo, same type of thing. Pending sales have actually gone up a little bit, and the active properties has gone up. The sold properties have stayed pretty consistent. Here is the biggest thing that you'll be surprised with when you look at the next graph. So what I did is I ran the percentage of what homes are selling for compared to list price. And I didn't do that in the previous weeks. You guys have been watching this because there was a lot of closings coming from February and early March before this thing really hit. So it wasn't fair to use that. But just last week, I started running it. And look at this. In San Ramon Valley, in the closing sales in the preceding week, so on 5/3, they closed at 100% on average of asking price. Last week, 100% of asking price again. So when you look at the average, things are selling at asking price. Look at Danville, 99.6% 2 weeks ago. Last week, 104% of asking price. Blackhawk, you see in 5/3, there were no closing sales, so there was nothing to chart. But the one sale that we had last week closed at 100% of asking price. And Alamo, 100% of asking price, 95% last week. So look at that. I mean, things are basically selling for asking price, because what's happening, even though there's more inventory coming on the market, the buyers out there are cherry picking the nicest homes. And you don't see the values going down here. You see the values staying consistent. So don't look for a lot of foreclosures. Look for being able and buy the home you want for asking price, but don't look like you're going to have to get in a bidding war. Because the bidding wars aren't going to happen as much, because why get in a bidding war if there's 3 other homes you can choose from? But you'll definitely pay asking price, if it's something that you would normally have to pay more than asking price. I talked last month about a little condo I bought as an investment, and this little condo would have normally got, probably multiple offers. But I paid 97% of asking price. I didn't steal it, but I got a good deal. I got a better deal than a normal market. So the bottom line is if you're a buyer, what a great time to be a buyer. Interest rates, the interest rate loan I got, 3.25%. Now, it was a non-jumbo loan. Jumbo loans are a little bit more expensive. But anticipate in this market that anything under $1 million in the San Ramon Valley, there's always been a huge demand, because it's like a pyramid. As you go down in price, there's more buyers. So you'll always have a demand for those things under $1 million. See a little bit of softening when you get up to 2, 2.5, 3 million. Again, depending on the neighborhood. As you get up to 2 million in Danville, probably going to slow down a little bit. 3 million in Alamo and Blackhawk, you'll see a little bit of a slowdown. Now, the other thing too is if you have any questions and you want to know how much, because this is the number one question I get, Joe, in the COVID-19 environment we have now, what is my home worth? So if you want to do just a little 15-minute consultation, because obviously these are overall numbers, but you just maybe want to talk about your home, just email me You see the information, joe@kehrigteam.com, or call me 925-487-6838. And we can just have a little Zoom meeting, which, to be honest with you, that's the other thing that's not. There's two things that I see that this COVID-19 has done in the real estate business. One is the fact that buyers are not going to be tromping through open houses and 10 homes. They're going to be looking at stuff online, and even when we're on the other side of this, the same thing's going to happen. The other thing is, like, if you want to know a little bit more information on your home, we'll do it through a Zoom. I will be able to email you. I'll be able to share my screen. We'll be able to go through the market analysis, talk a little bit more. And again, this is no obligation. This is just like if you're curious on what your home might be worth during the COVID-19 environment. So please feel free to give me a call, reach out. As always, what we always told our kids growing up, may God bless you and keep you safe. And may God bless America. May God bless the world. Talk to you soon. Can't wait till next week.